We live in a world that never stops speaking. Every second, we're connected. Messages, notifications, voices, opinions. Yet somehow, we've never felt more alone. There's a strange silence that follows us now. Not the comforting silence of peace, but the heavy quiet that sits between scrolling screens and unspoken thoughts. The kind of silence that asks, "Who am I?" when no one is watching. Modern loneliness isn't about being without people. It's about being surrounded by noise that keeps you from hearing yourself. Arthur Schopenhauer once wrote, "A man can be himself only so long as he is alone. And if he does not love solitude, he will not love freedom." In solitude, he said, lies the purest form of freedom. Because it's only when the world stops distracting you that you truly meet yourself. But for most of us, that meeting is terrifying. We spend our lives escaping ourselves through busyness, through entertainment, through people, anything, just to avoid sitting quietly with our own mind. Because in that silence, we face questions we don't have answers for. We face our own emptiness, our fears, our truth. But what if loneliness isn't an enemy, but a teacher? What if solitude isn't something to be escaped, but something to be understood? In this video, we'll explore the art of being alone through the eyes of two philosophers who mastered it, Arthur Schopenhauer and Friedrich Nietzsche. They both believed that solitude is not a curse, but the birthplace of strength, creativity, and truth. This is not a story about isolation. It's a story about coming home to yourself. Arthur Schopenhauer believed that to understand ourselves, we must first embrace being alone. He argued that solitude is not merely the absence of company. It is the presence of yourself, undiluted, unmediated, and raw. A man can be himself only so long as he is alone. And if he does not love solitude, he will not love freedom. Think about that. Freedom, he says, is not found in crowds, not in constant conversation, not in endless distraction. Freedom is the quiet mind, the reflective spirit, the space where you can finally meet your own thoughts. Schopenhauer warned that most people fear solitude because it strips away illusions. Without others to mirror our identity, without the noise to distract us, we see our vulnerabilities, our weaknesses, and the unvarnished truth about who we are. And yet, in this very confrontation lies power. When you allow yourself to be alone, really alone, you enter a space where creativity thrives. Ideas appear not from the world outside, but from the depth of your own mind. Schopenhauer wrote extensively about the artist and thinker. Those who create, he observed, must cultivate solitude. For the artist, loneliness is not a punishment, it is nourishment. A man who has not spent time alone cannot truly appreciate or understand another. He suggested that solitude is the crucible of intellect. By stepping away from the constant chatter of society, we find clarity. We learn to distinguish between what is superficial and what is essential. We discover that many of our fears are projections, and many of our desires are borrowed from others. But solitude is not merely intellectual, it is emotional. It is in these quiet hours that we confront our regrets, our losses, and our unspoken longings. We face the parts of ourselves we usually avoid, the fear, the sorrow, the uncertainty. Yet it is precisely in that confrontation that transformation begins. Schopenhauer also warned against dependence on others for happiness. He said that true contentment cannot be found in applause, approval, or companionship alone. It is cultivated within, in the calm acceptance of one's own company. Happiness consists in the absence of the striving after happiness. Imagine for a moment a life unchained from the need for external validation. A life where silence is a friend, not a punishment. Where solitude allows you to see yourself clearly, and by seeing yourself clearly, you can begin to live authentically. In practical terms, Schopenhauer's philosophy teaches us: step away from the constant stimulation of social media. Embrace quiet moments, even if they feel uncomfortable at first. Write, think, reflect. Create your own inner dialogue. Learn to enjoy your own company. It is not loneliness, but freedom. And as you begin to accept solitude, something remarkable happens. You become less reactive to the world, more thoughtful in your actions, and increasingly aware of what truly matters. Schopenhauer did not promise that solitude would always be easy. It requires courage to face yourself, patience to endure the initial discomfort, and humility to accept that not all answers come immediately. But for those who persevere, solitude becomes a sanctuary, a place where the mind is free, where creativity flows, and where the deepest truths about oneself are revealed. Friedrich Nietzsche once wrote, "He who climbs upon the highest mountains laughs at all tragedies, real or imaginary." For Nietzsche, solitude was not merely a retreat, it was a crucible, a place where one's character is tested, refined, and transformed, where the weak dissolve in their fears, the strong emerge renewed. Unlike Schopenhauer, who emphasized the serenity and reflection of solitude, Nietzsche celebrated its transformative power. He believed that through facing oneself, through confrontation with our deepest desires and fears, we can become who we are meant to be. Modern life is filled with distractions, obligations, and expectations. We rarely face the raw truth of our potential. We avoid solitude because it strips away excuses, comforts, and illusions. Nietzsche called this avoidance the denial of life itself. The individual has always had to struggle to keep from being overwhelmed by the tribe. In other words, to become truly yourself, you must learn to stand apart, not in bitterness, but in courage. It is in the quiet, sometimes uncomfortable moments that your strengths, convictions, and creativity emerge. Nietzsche introduced the idea of the Übermensch, the overman or overself. But becoming the overself is not about power over others. It is about mastery over oneself. It is about embracing solitude as a space to confront limitations, desires, and fears, and emerging stronger, clearer, and more authentic. Invisible threads are the strongest ties. Consider the invisible ties within yourself, your passions, your fears, your ambitions. Solitude allows you to untangle them, examine them, and finally direct them consciously. Nietzsche also warned that the path of solitude is not for everyone. Many are seduced by the comfort of crowds, the ease of distraction, the shallow approval of others. But for those who dare to confront themselves, the rewards are profound. Clarity. You see the world and yourself without illusion. Strength. Adversity becomes a teacher rather than a threat. Creativity. Original thought arises from inner silence. Freedom. You act from choice, not from compulsion or conformity. Nietzsche's vision of solitude is active, not passive. It is not about hiding from the world. It is about preparing yourself to face it fully, authentically, and powerfully. He saw those who embraced solitude as warriors of the self, capable of creating meaning where the world offers none. To practice niche and solitude in your life, step away from the crowd and observe yourself. Reflect on your values, your passions, and your limits. Challenge your fears by facing small discomforts daily. Cultivate creativity in quiet spaces without seeking validation. Allow solitude to strengthen, not weaken your spirit. The world may never understand your journey. That is not a failure. It is your liberation. Nietzsche teaches us that solitude is not a punishment, nor is it merely a place of reflection. It is the forge in which the self is tempered, where fear is transformed into courage, doubt into conviction, and isolation into the ultimate form of freedom. We began this journey with a question: who are you when no one is watching? For most, it is a question that terrifies. But now, after walking alongside Schopenhauer and Nietzsche, perhaps we see that solitude is not an emptiness to fear, but a space where the self can finally breathe. Schopenhauer taught us that solitude is the cradle of freedom. It is the quiet in which we meet our own minds, reflect on our choices, and cultivate wisdom beyond the distractions of society. Nietzsche showed us that solitude is a forge of transformation. It is not passive, but active, a place to confront fear, to strengthen resolve, and to emerge with clarity, courage, and authenticity. Modern life will always be noisy. We will always face distractions, obligations, and expectations. Yet, the lesson remains the same. To grow, to create, to live fully, we must step away. We must embrace moments of quiet. We must learn to stand alone without feeling lonely. And here is the truth. Solitude is not a punishment. It is a gift. It is the mirror in which we see ourselves clearly. It is the workshop where our character is shaped. It is the garden in which our mind, spirit, and creativity can flourish. He who cannot be alone cannot be free, wrote Schopenhauer. And he who faces himself emerges stronger, said Nietzsche. So today, allow yourself the courage to step into quiet. Sit with your thoughts, face your fears, embrace your reflection. Do not seek to fill every moment with noise or company. Instead, let the silence teach you, guide you, and transform you. You are not alone in your solitude. It is a path walked by thinkers, creators, and every soul that ever sought truth. And perhaps, in the silence of your own company, you will find the clarity, strength, and freedom that the world cannot give.